Well, I thought I'd better show you what happened in the water here. This was sort of my decision as to how to make the the design of the water. I put more light here than I expected, but I think it suits it. I think it works. And we formed a bit of a path through the water, you know, helps to lead us into the painting a little bit, and it opposes this. Okay, so we have this going on. I like that. There will be a few highlights here and there. That's step 6. That is the last step. I've dropped down. Am I even on screen? I'm not sure. You know what? Maybe what I'll do is move the camera here. It's live editing. So, okay, so I'm editing, 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 editing. We'll do that. And flip the screen. Okay, I dropped this layer of trees, or this row of trees in behind here, down a little bit because it was just, I don't know, I just felt it needed some variety. It was too much of an equal width band across the the rooftops of these trees behind here. Looking at it now, I feel that I've gotten a little bit lazy in this area, and I might introduce some of these bits of sky down into the odd tree here and there. I think I'm going to cut this shorter as well. I might drop it even more. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. For a moment I actually removed all of the trees, but I thought that at the very edge of the painting to make such a dramatic gesture maybe was a bit much. So I think what I'll do is I think, you know, basically from here this way is good. And I have what? Cobalt blue and burnt sienna on my brush. I laid in a few strokes, and I'm just going to continue with that. Now I don't want to paint individual trees, although I have to still give the impression of individual trees painted here. So and I've sort of relieved myself of the idea of showing trunk in places, because now it's become small enough and unimportant enough, which is actually what I was after, that I may not have to worry too much about it. I may still go in with a bit of, well, it would be raw umber and maybe a touch of titanium white just to break up the trees here and there, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to go in and fill in this area. Also, because I brought light to the left here on the water and here as well, I'm not so convinced as I was before that I need to bring this light over to the left more and more of an arc. You know, I may not even do that. It really kind of depends on what happens with the trees, and I need to look at it once my trees are in place. I don't have to worry about it for the time being. I don't have gads of paint on, or scads of paint on there. I can easily remix paint, add a bit of linseed oil to it, and then paint over areas, and it won't be an issue. But one thing I do have to do is drop the canvas so that I can see it from the sitting position, because that's how I'm going to paint it. So, sorry, editing. We're going to do that. And seeing as we're going to work on this area right now, I will zoom in a little bit. Okay, the water below is all only ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, touches of yellow ochre, some raw umber, and white. That's the blue in the water down below. The blue in the sky is only cobalt blue. Like I said, there was a hint of ultramarine, couple of strokes, not much. The bulk of it, the body of it, is cobalt blue, raw umber, white, and bits of yellow ochre. So we have two different families of blue, both blue but different families. Now the trees are not going to be cobalt blue and raw umber. They're going to be cobalt blue and burnt sienna. So you have slight variations there, you know, two different sort of offshoots of the same family. And that works for me. It's okay that they're both the blues because, frankly, number one, we don't want these trees to be too important. And number two, oh yeah, the introduction of burnt sienna. Now a little bit of burnt sienna shows through from our wash in, but the paint itself has burnt sienna and cobalt blue. So we're again, you know, different arm of the same family. For a minute, I thought that maybe I shouldn't talk about number two because that's dirty. But okay, now I'm being silly. I'm not. Yeah, that's a bit strong. I'm just gonna try to give the general notion of some bush back there. See, that's a little better. We want to keep our chromas low. Definitely want to keep our chromas low in that area. And I don't want to have my brush strokes choppy like these brush strokes. That's another way of differentiating one plane from another, or one, you know, one type of foliage or what have you. Going to end up being a little more impressionistic. I'm fine with that. I'm leaving room for a trunk there if I want one. I can rub it out later. That's fine. And some strokes we go a little more blue. Some strokes we just go a little more burnt sienna. Some strokes more white, some strokes no white. I don't think that I'm going to paint in too many of these little connective branches because, well, frankly, it's going to get a little tedious and boring if I do that. Details, again, too many details. I don't want a lot of details. I would like my distance to be just impressionistic. Just impressionistic. But I like that idea. I like how that's going. So let's just finish playing in this area. Trying to remember to breathe. Okay, I think that little branch requires a touch of paint, but I'm not going to put raw umber in there because, well, it's distant. You know, you get off in the distance in dimly lit areas. Color becomes less important. Okay, so we'll keep playing with that. Shapes. Not too many details. If I'm putting in too many details right now, I will rub them out when the time comes. It's easier to rub them out later than to add them later. Okay. Into white. Might seem counterintuitive to be using such a big brush right now, but it's a new brush, you know, so I can control it fairly well. And trust me, a large brush well used will provide you with far superior results to a small brush overused. And that's usually what happens when you're using a small brush. You put in, you know, you can put in 3 strokes in one small area. And those 3 strokes, they almost kill each other. If you can do the same thing with 1 stroke with a larger brush, the painting looks more mature, stronger, I guess is what I would have to say about that. Okay, I think I'll leave it there for now, because now I just have sort of, well, it's thoughtful labor, but it is labor moving my way to the right. As you can see, I left the possibility of a branch there. I may leave a hint of it here. I may have something else here. I don't know. I'm really more in favor of indicating 2 branches well placed than 5 branches that end up looking, what, too contrived? Next time we have a peek at this, I think we will probably have the painting so close to finished it won't even be funny. I'll probably be crying. Okay, editing, moving back. Let's raise this a little bit. Nah, that's too high. Now I'm getting glare. Okay. Okay. No pun intended, but you get the picture? Talk to you soon.